Hi you guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Bree and I am teaching 5th grade in Southern California, and today we're going to talk about observations. I'm going to talk to you guys about how my 100% digital observation went. I was one of the first people to go at my site, and I just did it 2 days ago on Monday, so I really wanted to get this video up and to talk about what I did, what I would have done different, and tips for you guys, because I feel like there's a lot. I feel like this is a really overwhelming time, and if I was new into teaching, this is my 3rd year. If I was new into this, that's all I'm gonna say. I don't know. Kudos for you guys if you guys are still, you know, functioning and getting through this. This is not real teaching, so just know when we go back, it's gonna be better than this. Whenever I drink this in actual life, and just really in actual life, everyone asks me what this is, and they think it's like some alcoholic beverage, but it's not. It's just sparkling water, ice, and the squeezable Mios, and it's the energy one, so it has caffeine in it. And this is my afternoon pick-me-up. All right, getting into this so it's not super long. So I waited to plan because this year my mindset is in a completely different mindset than it has been in years prior. I know going into this school year, starting digitally with the kids not being in school for now 6 months, I went into this and I felt really confident and calm, and I will tell you why. The reason why I went into my observation confident and calm is because I've done it before. And really, one, I've never been trained throughout my whole credentialing program. I have my master's degree. I have never been trained how to teach children online. So that alleviated a lot of stress off me, because how am I supposed to know how to do this when I've never been trained? It's not my fault. It's like, that's not, I shouldn't even hold that thought in my head. As well as, no one's ever done this before. So what is this observation going to compare to? Is this observation going to compare to teaching inside the classroom? What also helped me was knowing that no one's done this before. I was one of the first people, and let's just do it. Let's just go with it. Let's just get it done. That was my mentality. I was like, let's do it. I'm gonna teach the way I've been teaching because I do like how I've been teaching digitally. I do not at all like teaching digitally, but what I have done to cope with teaching digitally, I do like. So I am proud of that. I was proud to show it off. I was proud of showing the lesson I created. I was just like, let's do it. Like, what's the worst that's gonna happen? I fail? I fail at something I've never been trained to do. Okay, I'll take it. Let's talk about what I did in preparation. So at my district, they gave us a balanced lesson design template. I looked at it and I almost felt like, I felt a huge feeling of, oh my gosh, I can't do this. Like, I felt a huge rush of, wow, this is really going to be so difficult. And I felt a rush of, I'm not good enough to do this. Like, I'm gonna fail. However, the fact that California is having teachers be observed during a 100% digital learning time. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. So then I thought of it logically, and I was just like, okay, well, I was just like, okay, what do they expect? And also, if you're afraid that your job's on the line because you will not do a good observation, and if you're in California or even other states, there's a huge teacher shortage going on right now. You are fine. You are getting through this digital learning. You are fine. You will not lose your job over this. And if you're in a situation where you feel like you're scared, because I've been there. My first year teaching, I was terrified of observations. If you're in a place that makes you feel that way, you gotta go. You gotta go find somewhere else. And I'm being dead honest. You need to find a place where it's like, it's okay to fail. It's okay not to know. And that's how I went into this observation as well. No, I'm not tenured. This is actually my year that I would be tenured, but I'm gonna be moving anyways. So really, I have nothing to lose. I'm like, okay, like I try my best every single day. I'm gonna try my best. So, you know, so don't feel stressed, and if you do, you gotta go. If your district or school site principal is making you feel that way, you gotta go. Take it from me. Worst year of teaching ever. My first year. Anyways, let's get in to it. So I filled out the form, and really I was just like, and I tried the best that I could, and it worked. So just go in with, just try the best that you can, you'll be fine. As long as you try your best, you'll be fine. I decided to have my observation first thing in the morning because I have 2 different groups of kids that come in a day. I have group A and I have group B. My group A, they are on time, they're awake. Like, group A just runs a lot smoother than group B in the afternoon. And every single teacher I've talked to agrees with that statement. I don't know what it is. Well, it's like after lunch kind of thing, you know. Anyways, I decided to have it with my group A, and I started my morning as the same as usual. I didn't change anything up at all. So how I start my morning is I have a shared Google slide like presentation. It's essentially a Jamboard. I just don't use Jamboard because I just quite honestly haven't had the time or desire to explore Jamboard. So I haven't really explored it, but it's the same premise, and I put a question on, and the students log into WebEx, and the first thing they do after they log in is they get going on the question of the day, and it's a shared board, so they are all sharing the slide. And the question was, what did you do over the weekend? Add pictures, be specific, because right now, and what I'm doing in my lesson, we're working on detailed writing and descriptions, because oh my gosh, my students are having such a hard time with this, and I will get into it. They're going in, and then my principal pops in. You know, I'm just like, whatever. It was, in some ways, it was so much easier than in person, because I'm just on the computer and I'm just like, like, this is what we do, because this is absolutely insane. So this is what we do. And my principal just popped in, and it was fine, and I went over the questions, and that's how I take attendance. As they answer the question, I read their question, I say, oh, that's so cool, student, thank you for being here today. That's how I take attendance. And then I go into what they're supposed to be doing for independent work, and I really don't start until 8:30. So I started about at 8:30. My observation technically started at 8:15, but I mean, I feel like all rules are off limits here during this distance learning time. I feel like all rules are off, because what rules are there really? What regulation is there? We've never done this before. It's brand new. So loosey-goosey. So I had 12 students show up out of 15. I'm going to talk about now what I did for my observation. Now, what I did for my observation was I created a descriptive writing lesson where we add carrots. Okay, at the end of this video, I will have a timestamp in the description box. I will be going over the product that I created for my observation. My principal said she loved it. My principal said she was very entertained and amused throughout the whole lesson, and that she was sad when it was over. And it was really, really interactive. So if you're interested in it, it's gonna be towards the end after I'm done talking about this. And I am gonna go over what I would have changed and what I did change in the product. It's up for sale in my TPT store. I'll talk about it when I get there. So I did my lesson, and it was a describing lesson, and I'm going through it, and it's going well. And to be honest with you guys, I have 12 kids that were logged in, but maybe 8 to 9 of the kids actually participate. And what I did that my principal was happy that I did was I said the students' names constantly throughout the observation. I was like, hey student, what do you think about this? What do you think about this, student? What do you think? I also had students type in the chat box. I would ask them a question, they would answer it in the chat box, and then I would read it back. Or I also said you can use your voice if you want. I said you can answer in the chat box, or you can answer with your voice. So I had students doing both, and I constantly was asking the students, hey, what do you think? The students who weren't participating, I was constantly trying to bring them into it. And also, my principal liked that it was very smooth. I didn't take too much time, and I didn't go too quick. It was perfect timing, perfect smooth transitioning, and it's because I've been doing this for 4 weeks. If you guys have purchased my R.A.C.E product, that is the perfect, it'll be linked down below. That is the perfect thing to start if you're interested in doing my type of lesson design in your digital classroom, because it's the same thing every time. And I'll talk about it towards the end of the video. It's just very uniform, and the students aren't surprised, and the students know what to do because we've done it for 4 weeks. In that R.A.C.E product, we worked on it for 2 weeks, and it's the same thing over and over. That's just my advice if you want it. So let's get into what the observation actually says. So I have it on my iPad. I'm just gonna like paraphrase it. But basically, the main comment was, this lesson included all elements of a balanced lesson design. That's awesome, because I was really stressed out trying to figure that out until I was just like, well, I'm gonna do, you know, what's best to my knowledge. So it worked, cool. So my lesson that's for sale in TPT includes everything for a well-balanced lesson design, so holla at that. So with the engaging and supporting all student learning, in my lesson, I always allow students with the writing objective. We type out the objective instead of saying it. We type it out, and that holds them accountable for saying the objective and knowing the objective. And during that time, in part of the directions, it says, change the text, change the color of the text, change the font, the size, like be creative with this. This is your learning objective. And she really liked that. She liked that I was incorporating a lot of like technology skills on their part for them to be creative as well. And I wrote in my lesson plan, like, I want them to become very independent in changing font, inserting text boxes, clicking and dragging, because I want to incorporate more Google Slide projects continuing forward, you know? So she really liked that. Creating and maintaining effective classroom environment for student learning. Well organized, routines were highly evident because I've been doing this for 2 weeks. I've just been doing what I sell is what I've been doing. Solid. The kids love it. It's interactive. Sorry if it's like, I'm just saying. She uses Google Classroom and the virtual classroom to organize assignments. The students were very familiar. They pulled up their own assignments. Ms. Thompson made sure every student was following along by having students confirm in the chat that they had it opened. Also a routine they were familiar with. Absolutely. So what I would say is, on the first slide that you'll see, it says there's a spot for them to type their name. I always say, okay, go ahead and open your document, go ahead and type your name and wait for everyone to log into the assignment. Once you are logged in and your name is written, please let me know that you are ready in the chat box. And then I go ahead and change the font of your name, the style. You want cursive, do cursive, you know, like have fun while everyone's logging in. I used a timer and I kept pace slow enough for students to follow along, yet kept moving to engage them throughout the entire lesson. Yes, I did. In one of the sections, for example, when we did the objective and they typed it out, their learning target, I said, okay, you guys, I'm gonna give you guys 4 minutes. Go ahead and type out the learning objective, add a picture, change the font. Like, this is yours. This is your goal. I said that. And I put the timer on my phone and I just talk into it. And then the timer would go off and I would put the phone noise of the timer into the mic, or my mic, and then the students would know time's up, and then we just move on. Ms. Thompson's organization and the use of technology is exemplary. Oh my gosh, I can't read. Exemplary is great, and will recommend teachers to observe her for inspiration. Why did I just miss that? I didn't realize it said that in the beginning. Oh my gosh, you guys, I'm like very happy. Okay, next it says understanding organizing subject matter for student learning. So I did the writing standards. Writing is my favorite subject, you guys. Like, if I could teach middle school writing, that would be the job I would want. So with writing, I chose write narratives to develop real or imagined experiences, and I used concrete words and phrases as sensory details, and I activated prior knowledge by going over race and specified that today's lesson would expand on the E section of explain during R.A.C.E. Because again, if you are new to my channel or whatever, in my TPT store, we have been working on that product for 2 solid weeks, and my kids have nailed R.A.C.E. online. I'm telling you, they know how to restate, answer, cite, and explain online because we work at it. It's good and it's fun. Link down below. Planning, instruction, designing learning experiences for all children. Now, this was my struggle. This is where I struggled. While the lesson included very solid scaffolding for technology and for engagement, Ms. Thompson could have included more support for English language learners, such as content visuals and a vocabulary bank. Yes, I totally agree. And that's why I changed my product. The reason for this feedback is why I changed my product going into the end of the video, you will see. But what I noticed during my observation was my students were very low on vocabulary. We were describing food and they literally couldn't think of any good adjectives to describe the food. Yeah, like you can see how far behind they are. And I was shocked. I didn't think like we had to review that, but we do. And I'm sure your students do as well. So that's why I put it in my pack, which will be at the end of the video. She also said, it was evident as students were attempting to add their carrots for taste and smell that many students lack specific vocabulary. Absolutely. I noticed that, like, I noticed it like this. I was just like, oh no, like, I did not even think about that. But that is something we're gonna have to think about moving forward. Our students are so behind. They haven't been in school for 9 months, or I'm sorry, 6 months. By the time we go back, potentially it'll be 9 months. A vocabulary bank of sensory words would have helped students with limited vocabulary. Absolutely. Again, that's why I changed it in my pack in the future. Keep watching if you're interested. Assessing student learning. There is an exit ticket for students that Ms. Thompson will be able to use to inform future lessons. I believe the results will show that while most of, if not all, students understood the concept of adding descriptive detail, they will need additional support to expand their vocabulary in a follow-up lesson. Absolutely, and that's what I did. You guys, really, I've grown to not be afraid of observations anymore because they're not supposed to be scary. And if your area of employment is making you feel scared over observations, that's not a good environment. That's like us telling kids, oh, you better nail this test. You better get an A on this test, or you're not going to the next grade. It's like, that's not the whole premise of school. The premise of school is like trying your best, learning from failure, and growing and evolving. So that's just my food for thought. Been there, done that, literally drained my life away. So don't let that happen to you. But yeah, you guys, overall, I do not have to be observed again. She just really liked my lesson. And actually just rereading that section where she said, she'll recommend other teachers observe me in my lesson design is just like, that is what I was wanting. Like, that is just making me so happy, and I feel very accomplished. So now this section of the video continuing forward is going to be the video about what I did for my observation, showing exactly what I did, exactly what I said, and showing you my product and what I would have done differently. If you are interested in this for your observation, go ahead down in the description box below. Thank you guys for watching. Let me know if you're being observed this year, and let me know what your thoughts are about it. I wish you luck. You're gonna do great. It's gonna be fine, and there's nothing to compare it to at all. All right, you guys, keep on watching, and if not, I'll catch you guys in my next video. All right, you guys, here is the in-depth lesson I created on TPT. It is 3 days, and we're gonna go over it. So this is just how I used it, but I'm basically showing you now. This next slide is a how to upload to Google Classroom, because depending on how you want to set it up is how you want to assign to your students. I go day by day. So essentially this is 3 different Google Classroom assignments. Here is the lesson plan for day 1, and I go by each slide. This highlight is the exit ticket for assessment. Here's the objective, and I left the standard blank so you can add your own standard. And down here, I just noted the editable pages that you can edit. Here's where the students come and they sign their name or they type their name, waiting for everyone to get ready for the lesson. Here's the mission target, and this is where students are copying and typing the mission target, which is the I can statement, learning objective. They're going to type it out. They're going to highlight, change the text, all of that, change the color, add a picture for extra motivation. And it's a good time to show students like how to do all of this so you don't have to keep telling them, and they learn. And here is a target where the students click and drag, because that's what we're focusing on. We are focusing on this target for them to learn. Next slide. This is just a quick adjective review, and this is a refresher about adjectives. Now, this is day 1. This is what I should have done for observation lesson. I should have done this one first. But like I said, I changed it up. They're going to watch this video. It's linked here. Now, if you don't like this video that is linked, you can absolutely change it. Just unlink it. click on the photo of the little TV and then link a different video here. And the students are just going to, or adjective is, and list what an adjectives are, like a couple lists: blue, black, large, all of that. Here's where students are going to click and drag the carrots to match each word. So what I did is I said, okay, you guys smell. So we can add the detail of smell to our writing to add more detail. And I went through that with every single one, and the students just clicked and dragged while I spoke about it, just as a refresher and an introductory to carrots, adding carrots. And I told my class, adding carrots is just adding details. And I told them, like, if we were in the classroom, I would have a giant carrot on the wall with these words on it. So whenever we do a writing, I always remind them, add a carrot, add carrots, add carrots. All right, so here's our circle map. So what students are going to do here is they're going to think of an item that is listed in the middle of the circle. This one is just a let's think and let's list. So what do we hear that's buzzing? They could write phone. Right? What can we hear? What types of things make a crunch noise that we can hear? Chips. And you're going to go through that with your students, have them think about it, have them share in the text box or out loud. Same thing for this one, but this one's a little bit more fun. And I think that's why this lesson would be a really good lesson for an observation, because it is completely fun, interactive. I just have a feeling your principal would love it. Anyways, so it's a scavenger hunt. So the students are going to go find things that we can touch that are rough, smooth, lumpy, hard, and fuzzy. So they're going to go look around their house. I give them 5 minutes, go look around, and then they're going to type into each box what they found. And if they can't find something, it's okay. We'll just discuss about it. Same thing for smell, taste, and sight. They are all finding things that they can find in their house and that they can describe in their house. And now here is the exit ticket. This exit ticket, they're just listing adjectives that help describe each carrot. So our carrot's in the middle, the carrot's the main idea. They're going to write down adjectives that help them taste. Like, what are some tastes we can describe with? Salty, sweet, sour, savory. Same with sight. And then when they're done, the students are going to click and drag this thumbs up to the middle or their answers to make sure that they double checked their answers and they took their time. All right. Now these next ones are editable. So if you wanted to add your own adjectives for them to find for smell, you can edit that in there as well. I have smell, taste, sight, hear, and touch. And those are all editable for you. And the students are going to turn in this exit ticket, and this is what I grade. Now for day 2, this is creative sentences using 5 sentences, or 5 senses, I'm sorry. So here's our objective, here's our lesson plan. Again, highlighted is the assessment. Here are the editable slides that you can use if you're interested. Students open, type in their name. Again, it's very repetitive, so it's a structure. Students aren't surprised, they know what to do, they feel comfortable and confident. Here's a learning objective here. Students are going to click and drag, signifying that this is what they're focusing on for their lesson. Here is the same thing where you're reviewing the carrots with them, what carrots are, what do they mean. Here is where we start. So this is a teacher I do. So I'm showing the students how to do this. So the first thing they need to do is they need to list adjectives for each carrot that help describe the main idea. So the main idea is in the middle of the circle map, which is outside. Outside. So what adjectives can we use to describe the smell of outside? And we'll talk about it. Fresh, whatever else you guys can think of. And it's a discussion. Same with touch. What can we touch that's outside? You might not find something for all parts of this, but that's okay. Just have a discussion, think about it, and you can even say, like, hey, we're not going to find everything all the time. Let's just fill out what we can. And then down here, you guys are going to write 2 to 3 sentences describing the main idea. So you can say, when I go outside, I hear birds chirping, and I see a sunset in the distance, because we would be filling out with our adjectives. You're going to repeat the same process with a donut shop, a restaurant. This slide is the exit tickets. So I made it as I do, we do, and then the coffee shop is the exit ticket. If you want to edit the exit ticket as well, it's editable here with exit tickets. If you wanted a different main idea, the students are going to do that, turn it in. That's going to be your assessment. And I also have an editable one. If you guys want to change the main idea, more practice, you guys can do that. Here's day 3 lesson plans, and this is taste, touch, smell, sight, and hear. Adding carrots. Now, this is what I did for my observation, and obviously I needed more background knowledge before doing this. That's why I added those 2 lessons previously. Here, students are going to type their name, mission, target, same as before, clicking and dragging. That's what they're going to focus on. They're going to nail the lesson. And I always explain, like, this is what I'm testing you on. This is what I'm assessing you on. This is what you are going to accomplish at the end of this lesson. Now, up to you. I incorporated this because we already went over R.A.C.E. If you're interested in my other product, it'll be linked down below this video, but my students completely nail R.A.C.E. Like, they do great. And when I show them this, we just watch this video. It's a review video on the R.A.C.E. strategy. Of course, you can choose a different video if you want. But I tell them this carrot is there because we are focusing on the E in R.A.C.E. That is what we're focusing on. We're making the explanation part of R.A.C.E. even better with added details. Here, they're going to look at the 2 examples. And what I do is I read it. I read both of them and I say, okay, click the red thumbs down for the example that does not have good detail. Click the green thumbs up for the example that does have good detail. And then you talk about it. Review on carrot, same as before, click and drag to each home. Now this is where I think is the most fun. So the directions are look at the picture and describe the picture in 2 to 3 sentences by adding carrots. So I show them, look at the sentence, you guys. I like cereal because it's good. Okay, that is boring. That is non-descriptive. That's like kindergarten level or like 1st grade. I teach 5th grade, so I'm just like, we can do better than that. What I tell them to do is, this is an I do. The students are watching this one. It says watch the teacher. So what I say is, I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to use the carrot smell. So I'm going to click and drag this to smell because I checked off the carrot smell, and I'm going to type in here. So I checked off the smell. I added the detail of smell into my sentence. And you can do it with taste, touch, sight here, but this is for you. You are showing the students how to click and drag and how to use this. The next one, you're going to do the same thing with a hamburger. And I like hamburgers because they are good, boring sentence, and we need to add more detail to that. That's boring. You're going to do it with them. So you might call in students and be like, hey, what do you think? Click and drag what you use. Touch, it's greasy and delicious. I have no idea. And then this is another we do, and we have tacos. So I like tacos because they're delicious. Talk about it. Let's do the sight. Let's cross off sight and let's talk about it. Let's look at it. So we have purple onions and we have the green guacamole and green cilantro. Like, it looks beautiful and colorful. So that's what you would talk about in your sentence, adding those details. And then lastly, this is the exit ticket. So for this exit ticket, students are going to do their own, and that's why it's important for them to insert their own pictures. That's why I always have them do it for the mission objective. So here, students are going to answer the question, and it says, add a picture of one of your favorite breakfast foods. So they're going to add a picture. I put it here, how to do that. And then they're going to describe why this food is their favorite in 2 to 3 sentences by adding carrots. They're going to talk about the taste. They're going to cross it off. They're going to talk about the smell. They're going to cross it off. Again, 2 to 3 sentences, depending on the learner, differentiated, whatever they can do, just cross off what they used so they remember, oh, I should use touch to describe my favorite breakfast food. And then this is what they turn in for their exit ticket. And they click and drag here, giving me a thumbs up that they got it. And what you guys can also do is you can do one of these a day. I left this blank. This is editable. So if you wanted to, you can add your own picture, assign it to them, and the students are going to fill it out themselves. They're going to add their own sentences themselves. It's like a good warm up every day. Or if you're doing asynchronous time and you want them to review more descriptive writing, you can absolutely do that. You can do that with places, not just food. areas, I don't know, the store, donut shops, etc. So, all right, you guys, I hope you liked this video. If you purchased it, please rate it for me. Also, if you have any other ideas for me to create, let me know. I love creating. Be sure to subscribe and follow me on Instagram. Thank you so much, and I will catch you guys in my next video. I hope your observations go great. Let me know if you use this and how it went, and thanks, guys.